video. Today I'd like to talk about another part of English which is a little bit more than a little bit difficult for you. This is Shaika, and if you like my channel, subscribe, like, and everything. So let's get started. Today I'd like to talk about how to learn grammar. I know that it's a part of the English like vocabulary which you struggle with and you feel overwhelmed sometimes by memorizing the structures, the grammar rules, and you find it boring to study grammar. Well, you are not alone actually, but the good news is that learning grammar doesn't have to be difficult or boring. Today I'll share some practical ways and practical tips to learn grammar effectively and make it a part of your daily routine to learn grammar. Make it a little bit more interesting to learn grammar. Let's start with this question. Why grammar is important? First, let's talk about this. Grammar is the structure of any languages, It helps us communicate clearly and effectively. Without grammar, sentences can be confusing or even misunderstood. So you have to learn grammar. It's a must to learn grammar. You are not able to neglect them totally. If you see some strategies which say try to neglect it, don't pay attention to it, it's not really practical. You should pay attention to grammar at the end of the day. But you should know that even native speakers make a lot of mistakes on their daily life in terms of grammar, and it's totally okay. But we should learn the whole grammar, and I say how you should do that. Let's talk about the common mistakes that learners make. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is confusing too much on memorizing rules. Grammar is not just about memorizing rules, it's about usage. Another mistake is studying grammar in isolation. Some learners focus on grammar exercises but never practice using grammar in real life conversations. That's like learning how to drive by just reading the manual. It doesn't work. The third mistake is being afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of learning anything. Anything. Embrace them. Learn from them and move forward. It's totally okay. Let's talk about some tips to learn grammar effectively. Don't just learn grammars from a textbook. Learn grammar through real life examples such as articles, stories, some conversations. For example, instead of memorizing the rules for present perfect tense, try to find sentences instead of memorizing rules in isolation, try to learn them in context. For example, if you want to learn present perfect, don't try to memorize the formula. Try to see, some videos or even from the textbooks, try to see the examples and try to find out where they are using present perfect and try to find them out. Try to discover them. It can really help you. For example, watching TV shows, reading books, and listening to podcasts are a great way to see grammar in action, in context. Tip number 2 is focus on patterns, not rules. Grammar is all about patterns. Instead of memorizing individual rules, pay attention to how sentences are structured. For instance, notice how conditionals are formed. If, for example, plus present tenses, comma, and subject plus, future tenses. And practice creating your own sentences using those patterns because it has some patterns. The more you recognize patterns, the more natural grammar will feel. And tip number 3 would be practice, practice, practice. Grammars need to be practiced regularly. Make it part of your daily routine. For example, choose a grammar point to focus on each week and use it in your conversations. Put the pressure on yourself to when you are writing some essays or when you are journaling, try to use that specific grammar in 1 week. Tip number 4 is using some grammar apps and online resources. There are many websites and apps that make grammar learning fun and interactive. Apps like Grammarly, BBC Learning English, and Grammarly quizzes can help you practice grammar in a practical way. However, don't rely only on apps. Make sure you are also using grammar in the real life conversations. It's really important. And tip number 5 would be get feedback on your grammar. It's important to get feedback from a teacher, tutor, or language partner. They can correct your mistakes and explain why a certain grammar rule applies. Don't be shy asking questions. The more you understand the reasoning behind grammar rules, the more confident you'll become. And the last tip is that learning grammar is like a journey. It's okay if you feel frustrated at times, but remember that every little step you take brings you closer to fluency. Celebrate your progress no matter how small. If you learned one new grammar rule today, it's a win. Also, don't compare yourself with other people. Everyone learns at their own pace and focus on your progress. Just focus on yourself. It doesn't matter. If in 1 week you just learn one grammar, if in 1 month you just learn 2 grammars, it's totally okay. It's just about progressing. And after 1 year, you see yourself and see, wow, I really improved, huh? And thank you very much for watching me. I try to emphasize that. Subscribe, like, and share the videos. And try to make a plan for your study. For example, try to focus on your vocabulary and grammar like every single day. Or if you are not able to do that, try to focus on vocabulary 1 day, grammar 1 day, listening 1 day. As I said in this video, try to watch that. Try to make a study plan for yourself and stick to it, even if it's about just 25 minutes a day. It's okay. Thank you very much for watching me. Don't forget that I really love you. Take care. Bye.